Okay. All right. So can you share the screen? And you may start to present. Okay. It's about the Act. Okay, Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994. Okay, this is the main regulation that all the construction industry and a few industry also have to comply with these regulations. Okay, so I suppose that your team will highlight which part or section that are relevant to the construction industry and the main part. Okay, so you may start whenever you are ready.
Hello, can everyone hear me?
Yes, can you turn on the camera?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, Farah, good to see you.
Okay. A very good morning. Good evening to all.
Okay.
My name is Nufara Ain Shamsuddin, and we are from Group 5. We present about Occupational Safety and Health Act 1994 or OSHA. Okay. So our team member consists of me, myself, Naufal, and Sir Zailan. So our topic today will consist about construction safety and health regulation, planning of safe working environment and preparation of safety plan, employer and employee responsibility on site safety, assessment of PPE, and case study. First of all, before we go into OSHA, I would like to share about the legislation before OSHA in Malaysia, which is there are 4 act or enactment that were used before OSHA. The first one is during 1914, where the steam boiler safety era. During this time, there was one person, the first person actually appointed as the machinery inspector during 1878. So the first steam boiler law was believed to be legislated in Selangor, which is the Selangor Boiler Enactment Act 1892. So continuously, Perak also enforced their steam boiler law in 1903. The next era, 1914 to 1952, is the machinery safety era, where the steam boiler enactments were abolished and were replaced with the machinery enactment of 1913. The inspector not only to inspect steam boiler, but to inspect also machineries, including engines and water turbine and etc. So this inspector during this time were under the mineral department, because that time there were machineries mostly used during mining sector. So the third is industrial safety era during 1953 until 1967, where the enactment were renamed from mineral department. They changed to machinery department, and machinery enactment were abolished and they replaced with machinery ordinance 1953. So the roles of inspector not only limited to steam boiler, but also machineries covering inside the factory also. So the fourth one is the industrial safety and hygiene 1970 to 1994, where the Factory and Machinery Act was approved in Parliament, and then due to this act, the previous ordinance were abolished, and they introduced the FMA 1967. So after 1990, during 1994, they introduced Occupational Safety and Health Act in Malaysia. For this, FMA was the primary legislation on occupational and safety and health matter. But FMA also has their own disadvantages because the scope is only limited to manufacturing, factory, mining, quarry, and also industry, construction industry. But the workers that covered under FMA 1967 is only 24% compared to the OSHA 1994 that cover almost 90% of the workforce. So the Department of Factory and Machinery has been renamed to Department of Safety and Health, which is DOSH now, and the inspectors are called Occupational Safety and Health Officers. So this is the current development of OSHA, which is the Occupational Safety and Health Master Plan 2015. This master plan was introduced by our ex-Prime Minister, Datuk Sri Najib, on 2nd May 2009. So the main objective during this master plan was to develop a safety and health productive human capital by adopting, promoting, and maintaining a safe and healthy work culture. So during this time, the safe work and safe work environment were introduced. So the next is Master Plan 2020 is a continuity of 2015 Master Plan. So the strategy is inculcation of preventive culture at workplace. So they have 5 strategies during this Master Plan 2020, which is first one, government leadership, strengthening of OSH management at the workplace, OSH sharing and network, international OSH strategy alliance, and mainstreaming of industrial hygiene. So the current master plan was 5 years. 5 years master plan starting 2021 until 2025. It's also a continuation of these 2 master plan, which is the safe, healthy work culture among employers and employees. So the main principal strategies were to instill safety culture at workplace. With they have 7 strategies in the master plan: empowering OSH in public sector, reinforcing self-regulation and practices at workplace, promoting OSH education and research. Mainly the strategies is awareness, enhancing OSH through technologies, and so on. So
Okay, did you know there is a history, or there is one incident that makes them to introduce the OSHA? Did you know what is the incident, the accident happened?
Firecracker.
Yeah, in 1991. Did you know that,
1991.
Farah?
No.
Let me share quickly with once there is one incident so that everyone notice why they wait, let me try to share. Is it works or not? I'm sharing now. I'm not sure. Is it sharing?
No.
No, is it
I've
sharing
stopped.
now?
Okay.
No, I think I'm sharing now. Is it?
Yeah.
Everyone can see the screen?
19.
Hello?
Yes, can.
Everyone can see, right? So you see this incident, it was happened for the fireworks factory in 1991. Okay. So because of these incidents, they have strengthened the regulation. Okay, that's how the OSHA comes in. Even though the FMA is cover for the machineries, for the construction and factory, but there is still have the responsibility of the employers and so on. They have to revise the act. So because of this incident, the governments introduced the OSHA. So this is a very quite disaster. The incident, how many injury? 100 injury and 26 fatal. Yes, 26 fatal. So there's a town in there. This one is
FMA
Sungai
did not
Buloh.
cover it, right?
Sorry?
FMA did not cover workers that if the factory doesn't use machinery, so the act doesn't.
Yes, that's why. Okay.
And
And
the
they
public
also,
also.
of course, correct. Okay. And the public as well. So because of this incident, they have to introduce a more stringent regulation. So this is a quite bad at that time, 1991. So the they said that in 1992, okay, they start, where is it, the statement here, if I'm not mistaken? This one. And in the 1992, they set up for the fire and rescue department for the hazmat, if there is any emergency for that one. And also the OSHA, okay, they just passed the one rakyat for the parliament 2 years later in 1994 because of these incidents. Okay, there is one, usually they have a one trigger incident, let the policy they change or revise, the government will take an action after there is the issue incident. They won't immediately comes out the OSHA or policy and so on. There must be something you experience then comes to the in place. All right, that's what the history. Okay, how's the OSHA comes in. Okay, even though we already have FMA, it's just because we have the development and focus on these two of industry, and once have the OSHA, there's a few 11 industry or 10 industry they have to comply. I think you will highlight later on maybe. Okay, continue, Farah. Thank you.
Okay, occupational safety and health legislation in Malaysia, administered and enforced by Department of Safety and Health (DOSH) under the Ministry of Human Resource. There were three legislation that under DOSH, which is OSHA 1994, FMA, and part of Petroleum Act 1984. So what is OSHA 1994? OSHA 1994 is an act which provides the legislative framework to secure the safety and health and welfare among all Malaysian workforces and to protect others against risk to safety and health in connection with the activities of person at work. So mainly the act covers the workers and also the public and the non-employee. So the OSHA approved in Parliament in 1993 and was gazetted on 24th February 1994. So OSHA contains 67 sections divided into 15 parts and appended with 3 schedules. The first 3 parts describe the objective of the Act, the infrastructure for appointment of officer and the National Council. So part 4 to 6 provide the general duties of employers, self-employed person, designer, manufacturer, suppliers, and also employees. So do you know who are being exempted by OSHA 1994? There are two types of workers that was exempted by OSHA 1994, which is the army and also the merchant, the ship work or the merchant trader, because the merchant trader, they have their own merchant trading act. And then this is the content of OSHA 1994, which is the first 3 parts. Prelim, which is also cover the objective. Part 2, appointment of officer. Part 3, National Council, Occupational Safety and Health. So part 4, 5, 6 covers the duties of employers and also employees. And part 7, Safety and Health Organization, including SHO, Safety and Health Committee. And part 8 is notification of accident. So part 9 until 15, I will not cover. So the objective of OSHA, as stated in the part 1, section 4, is they have 4 objectives: to ensure safety and health and welfare of person at work against risk to safety and health arising from workplace activities. Second, to protect a person at a place of work other than person at work, that means the non-employee, against risk to safety or health arising out of the activities of person at work. So the first one, to cover the workers, the employees, and the second one is to cover the non-employee or public. The third one, to promote an occupational environment for person at work which is adapted to their physiology and psychological needs, and then to provide the means of developing regulatory system. So next one is the part 2, section 5, describe the appointment of officers. This means that DOSH is under the Ministry of Human Resource, so the minister, will select the Ketua Pengarah or the Director General of DOSH and their assistants, their public officers. So this is the latest DOSH org chart, which shows the Director General, Timbalan Ketua Pengarah, and so on. So part 4 is about general duties of employers and self-employed person. So in section 15, it stated that 15.1 to ensure employers must ensure safety and health and welfare of all workers while at work. And the second one is they must provide and maintain system of work, including all machineries, equipment, and tools that are practical and safe without any risk, making arrangement for the use of for operation, storage, handling, transport, provide info, instruction, training, and supervision, provide and maintain means of access, meaning ingress and egress from workplace, provide and maintain working environment that is practical, safe, without health risk, including adequate welfare facilities. So in point 3, employer also, if they engage an independent contractor, the independent contractor also is liable under these parts also. Then section 16 mentioned that all employers must prepare and revise a written safety and health policy and must inform all their employees regarding the policy, meaning that they must brief their workers, and if they had to revise the policy, they must do rebriefing again. Section 17, to conduct operation without affecting others' safety. That means public or non-employer safety. Section 17.2, provide information to others regarding works that may affect their safety and health. So they must engage the public and non-employee to provide information regarding their works, meaning their progress of work or whatever, to them, if their work affect their any safety risk and health risk. Section 18, an occupier of non-domestic premises shall take measure to ensure that the place of work are safe and without risk to health to the person other than his employee. So under section 19, it mentioned that if employer fail to comply this section 15 until 18, fine not more than 50,000 or imprisonment not more than 2 years or both. So for part 5, general duties of designers, manufacturers, and suppliers. So section, it covers section 20 and 21. So all designers, manufacturers, suppliers must ensure that all their supplied plants, machineries, or material are safe and without risk to health. And they must conduct necessary testing and examination or commissioning for their supplied plants and machineries, and must also provide sufficient information to the workers to ensure that the safe use of the supplied material. Section 20.2 is to carry out necessary research. They must carry out necessary research to minimize any safety and health risk. Section 20.3, they must ensure safe installation and erection of the supplied machinery. So failure to comply any of these section 20 to 21, fine not more than 20,000 or imprisonment not more than 2 years or both. So for part 6 is mainly general duties of employees, which is the workers. For section 24.1, we must ourselves as the workers to ensure safety and health of ourselves and other person who may be affected by our action at work. And then to provide full cooperation to his employer or other person in complying with the requirement of OSHA, we must give our full cooperation to our organization regarding to comply the requirement of the OSHA, to wear or use at all times any PPE or clothing provided by the employer, to comply with any instruction on OSH by the employer or any other person by or under OSHA 1994. So this is mainly our duties of employees and workers. Failure to comply, fine not more than 1,000 ringgit or imprisonment not more than 3 months or both. Under section 25 also mentioned that if a person who is intentionally, recklessly or negligently interfere or misuse any item provided, fine not more than 20,000 ringgit or imprisonment not more than 2 years or both. So under section 27, 1 and 2 is mainly for, I think from my understanding, it's like a whistleblower. So no employer or trade union shall dismiss an employee, injure him in his employment or alter his position if any employee who makes a complaint that he is not safe or is risk to health. So if any employee make a complaint regarding their workplace is not safe or not, the employer cannot dismiss them. Failure to comply, not more than 10,000 ringgit or imprisonment not more than 1 year or both. Under this section also, they mentioned that the court may add the following orders other than this fine and prison to 1 year, which is compensation to the employees and or employee can be reinstated or re-employed in his former position. So this is the additional court orders that the court may add addition to this fine. So for part 7, which is safety and health organization, it describes the safety and health officer, which is under section 29. Occupier of a place of work shall employ a competent person as safety and health officer. She or he must employ exclusively to ensure compliance to OSHA and promotion of safe conduct at work. So the HSO must do the safety and work related, and then she must be qualified and receive formal training. So if fail to comply or to provide the SHO, fine not more than 5,000 ringgit or imprisonment not more than 6 months or both. So under section 30, every employer shall establish a safety and health committee at workplace if there are more than 40 employees and also instructed by the Director General. So what is a safety and health committee? So mainly it will consist of the operation team, and which is the either project manager or construction manager, the engineers, safety and health officer, triple S, and then the representative from subcon, and then the workers presentation, and also sometimes client can also join to witness. So
Okay.
safety and
All right. Look at the section 30. They mentioned that every employer shall establish a safety and health committee at the workplace if they are more than 40 employees, correct? And there is another condition, they said instructed by the Director General. So they say if, so do you think they need to have a safety and health committee if they have less than 40 employees? How about the condition number 2? In what condition that the employer must establish the safety and health committee? When they say instructed by the Director General, the Director General means DOSH. We're talking about DOSH. Okay. So do you know in what condition? The number one is very clear. They say if the more than 40 employees, automatically you must set up a safety and health committee. Okay. For the, how many industry just now you mentioned, 10 or 11? 10 industry that comply to OSHA, except the 2 army and also the what? The marine,
marine.
So in what condition? So class, any one of you notice that this section 30, if less than 40 employees, is it necessary to have a safety and health committee?
Is it depending on the projects? Depending on the project, whether
Oh. Is it the safety and health committee is only for the construction industry?
no,
Okay, no, yes. All right. So it depends on
because
what?
OSHA also covers government buildings, offices.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not
So
in construction industry, but in the office, maybe the employees not more than 40.
okay. Why they mention there has a statement instructed by DOSH means that okay, some organization they have less employees, but the workplace is a very high risk. You know what I mean? The operation for their company is a very high risk, even though they have less employees, they must set up as a safety and health committee by advice or instructed by the DOSH. Okay, that's why they have
Meaning
that statement.
will write a written formal letter to them.
Yeah, they when they register, usually the DOSH they have all the records, the manufacturing or what, the all industry they have the records, so they will see what kind of activities for this company, what they are doing. Maybe they are handling the chemicals. There is a very high risk, even though they have only 10 employees in their
Maybe
organization. So
chemical.
they must have the safety committee maybe with how many numbers of the employees there, so they must set up the safety and health committee, depends on the work activities, the risk. Okay, usually the statement number 2 is because of that kind of industry or organization. So sometimes you thought that, oh, must have the 40 employees. Sometimes the case is less than 40 employees. Also, you have to have the safety and health committee by instructed by DOSH whenever necessary, because due to the risk of the activities. Okay. And then what else they said just now? The committee provides parts consultation, cooperation, identify, assess. Yes. Yes. That is their purpose. Okay.
Okay. Then section 31 describe the functions of safety and health committee. They will review all the measures taken to ensure safety and health of person at work, investigate issues regarding occupational safety and health, and inform the employer. They will also recommend corrective action, and other functions may be determined. So during committee meeting, they will discuss maybe during previous sidewalk about what is the issue raised by the safety officer, and they will discuss during committee meeting, and they will investigate or make corrective plan during the meeting. So part 8 is about notification of accident, dangerous occurrence, occupational poisoning, and occupational disease, and inquiry. So this section describes that employer should notify the nearest DOSH office of any accidents, dangerous occurrence, occupational poisoning, and occupational disease which has occurred or likely to occur to the nearest DOSH office. Registered medical practitioner or officer should report to Director General DOSH if their patient likely to happen to have this poisoning or occupational disease. They will report to the DOSH also. The Safety and Health Organization in Malaysia consists of DOSH, Jabatan Keselamatan dan Kesihatan Pekerjaan. The responsibility to ensure the safety and health and welfare of people at work, as well as protecting other people from the safety and hazard arising from the industry sectors. Second one is NIOSH, National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health. NIOSH carry out various training, including courses, workshops, and seminars in order to fulfill the industry's demand. NIOSH also offers certification and trainers course in compliance with the OSHA 1994. NIOSH also involved in research activity. Next one is Perkeso or Pertubuhan Keselamatan Sosial or SOSO, Social Security Organization. This organization, they register of employer and employee, they collect contribution, process benefit claim, and make payment to the injured workers and their dependent. So also provide vocational and physical rehab benefit and enhance OSH awareness to workers. So we go to the next point, which is planning of safe working environment. What is a safe working environment? A workplace, whether at construction site or office or factory, any workplace that is safe from any hazard, injuries, and health disease. A safe working environment, also a safe workplace where employees feel secure and comfortable to work. Why we need to have a safe working environment? First, to prevent workplace injuries and illnesses, to comply with the law and regulation, reduce costs. Reduce costs if any accident happen at workplace, so employer might need to compensate the workers. So if we have a safe working environment, the accident can be lessened. So it might reduce some costs. Then increase productivity, thus overall business operation. If workplace is safe, workers will feel protected and secured. So they will increase their focus and will also increase their productivity. Improve employees' retention and recruiting. If the workplace is safe, workers will stay at the organization and can be loyal to the company. So it might give some good name to the company, thus the workers will recommend their family and friends to join the company. So next is the how we can achieve the safe working environment. The first one is management role. So management is either business owner or a client or the employer. It means that commitment from the management to eliminate hazard, protecting the workers, and to improve workplace safety and health. Next one is workers' participation. Employer must encourage workers to participate or to encourage workers to report on any safety and health concern. Employer also must give workers access to information. Workers need to understand why and what is the safety and health hazard in the workplace. So the third and fourth is mainly hazard identification and assessment, and hazard prevention and control is HIRAC. So in order to plan for safe working environment, we must first inspect the workplace from safety hazard, identify the hazard, we must conduct investigation, characterize the nature of hazard. And then hazard prevention and control is we must identify the control option, control measures, select the most feasible, effective control measures, and we must develop and update the control measure plan or log. And then when we implement the control measure at workplace, we must follow up the effectiveness of the measures. And then we must have education and training. The owner or business owner, the employer must educate and give training to their workers. to provide awareness. So lastly, evaluation and improvement. We must monitor performance and progress by establishing a report, tracking goals in a way that we can improve our control measure in the next plan, so that we have opportunities for improvement.
Okay, any one of you have involved with the HIRAC? Sorry, the hazard identification and assessment. Any one of you have ever involved to do the hazard identification and
preparing, but I've seen HIRAC lah, not prepared.
Okay, how about the rest? Have you, any one of you involved with the hazard identification and assessment? Anyone? Who said?
During risk management class.
Risk management class. Oh, risk management class.
Last semester, we have a risk management subject.
Okay.
We doing HIRAC during that class lah, dalam assignment whatsoever.
Is it the HIRAC related to the hazard at the construction site or risk management for the overall, I mean, financial management, something like that? And
No, the lecturer asking us for any kind industry, but then
okay.
So ada yang select to do the construction,
anything. Okay. So everyone already well known about it? Okay. It's okay. We can do later on. Okay. This one will be part of under topic as a HIRAC. Maybe some of you, I'm not sure how did you teach in the risk management, because when we talk about risk management, it's a huge, huge. They cover the whole operation in the organization, including the human resources, the financial, that is what you have to thinking about. Okay. And here about the safety at the working place, they are looking for the hazard focus on the working environment. Okay. All right. Okay, good that you, at least you got the idea about HIRAC. Okay, thank you.
Next is preparation of safety plan. What is a safety and health plan? It's a main document in management of safety health in construction site or in any organization, normally prepared by SHE manager. So this is mainly from my previous project. My SHE manager will prepare the SHE plan. So in the plan, it will list down processes and procedures in identifying, preventing, and mitigating any safety issues. And this safety plan is to make available at site and workers to be briefed on the SHE plan. So normally, the SHO will brief the SHE plan to us at site during the start of the project, or if there is a revision in the safety plan. So this is what contained in the safety plan. So the objective of the SHE plan, project brief, execution of work, the QSSE policy. It might be different from other organization, but this is what I pick up from my SHE plan. The hazard identification and risk assessment, records management, emergency response plan, identification, notification, and so on. So I will show this is the sample of our safety plan for MRT2. This plan was prepared by the general manager, SHE general manager. So this is the content of the SHE plan, where I said earlier, the objective, project brief, description of works, QSSE policy statement, and so on. So also have risk register, cost assessment, and then this is the documentation, communication, and so on. So continue is the emergency preparedness response until management review. So our safety and plan, safety and health department in MGKT, MSc Gamuda Tunneling, under this department consists of 4 divisions, which is the safety and health team, environmental team, emergency response team, and also traffic management team. So these 4 team under one department, G department. So this is the quality QSSE policy. So usually every new staff, they will invite for briefing for quality safety policy. It is compulsory in the ISO, I believe, to brief, to give information to the workers.
Yes. Usually where they have to display the policy, the safety policy.
For ours, every notice board, either at the site office or at the site, any place that have notice board, we will display.
Okay. Actually, the purpose, they must display the policy when the workers, employees can be visible to read the safety policy.
The notice board is usually located at the rest area, so where
Yeah.
the workers
Right.
together.
Correct. Okay.
Like, so
Yeah.
this okay. I believe this is I can share what we did. Not we, the
Oh,
safety
got the
department.
award.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our safety department is like over scale. So
This over. Okay.
traffic management, the emergency response team, right? They they have their own ambulance, they have their own firefighting.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's made the winning the award. Tak boleh buka.
Yeah. They have effort. They show the effort.
Boleh buka, tapi from this website we can show the how they very seriously take the safety at site. So yeah. This one, I think the latest award that we received from DOSH, construction category of OSH, and then also received 5-star ratings IDB. This one is end of December 2022. This one what I said earlier. They conducted emergency drill focuses on the COVID-19 incident. So we have our own ambulance, firefighting. This one is the screening process, I think. This one of the biggest emergency drill that they conducted during COVID. Yeah, because at site we need to conduct 2 times emergency drill twice in a year. So this one is like the big scale demo and drill. This one is training.
So Farah, you involved with the project MRT line what?
Line 1 and line 2.
I mean from A to Z.
Yeah, until tunneling completed, then I demop.
Oh, okay. You mean the line 1 you involved? Okay, until right? How many packages?
Only one, because we are doing tunneling. So after the breakthrough, then we transferred to MRT2, doing some tender.
So based on your experience for the line 1, for example, your packages only, is there any incidents happened involve fatality?
Fatality, no. But there was one incident during MRT1. You know, when we tunnel, we are using high pressure underneath. So the one of the crew, when we mining, we have some intervention or stoppage to check the machine in front, the cutter disc in front. So during that time, the workers will go into the chamber, the pressurized chamber, And
Okay.
then they will inspect the cutter disc and then make change to the cutter disc. So this one supervisor, I think inside the chamber was flooding with slurry because we injected slurry in limestone. So they the slurry come in very quick and high level, and then like flooding, and the supervisor like pengsan dalam tu. So that was one incident that very we kind of panic because that time it was 30 meter deep, and I believe we did not conduct any drill 30 during that time with that depth of 30 meter. So how we are going to bring out the supervisor? The tunnel, I think 1 kilometer depth ongoing mining. So 1 kilometer tunneling, and then 30 meter height. So the supervisor was brought up using tower crane with the stretcher and on. And it, everyone at workers at the site gather at our site and watch the incident. So it was one of the biggest incident. The supervisor, they said during in the hospital, they said the slurry already dalam paru-paru dia macam tu lah.
Oh, really?
So,
Oh.
yeah.
So how's his condition right now?
Okay, dia continue working in tunneling,
Okay.
but incident
How long it takes for him to recover?
hospitalized MC maybe 2 months or more.
Oh, quite long.
He
Okay.
is quite an experienced supervisor because he already worked during Smart Tunnel, and then after that he worked overseas, and then he come back because my manager called him back. So and then the manager give him medical leave until he recovered, and then he come back during line 2, but not as supervisor, as I think superintendent.
Okay.
So
Okay.
after the incident, we conducted the drill for the shaft that is 3 meter depth. How we want to bring out the patient or the
Okay.
worker from inside to above.
Yeah,
the site.
during the incident happened, who instruct you? Is it the SHO on that spot, or is there who instruct that agency at that time?
The tunnel manager.
Oh, tunnel manager. So at that time, the SHO were not around, right?
During work inside tunnel, the engineers will report to tunnel manager,
Yes.
and if any incident, then they will consult with safety officer and also the safety head of safety, because this incident quite big also.
No, I mean immediately at that time they were around.
Yeah,
The safety
it
officer.
was weekdays because there are so many workers at that time, and in the morning shift.
So they were around. Okay, all right.
Yeah, they were. So that one is one of the incident that I still remember, and thankfully that he is okay now.
Yeah, okay. Okay, continue.
So,
Okay, right.
okay.
Nak
Then
tanya.
Okay, Suzek nak tanya. Okay, right. Good, tanya.
Yang insiden tadi tu, that MRT punya tunnel is 1 kilometer depth
no, 1 kilometer long, because we divided into portions kan. So macam MRT1, the total length of tunnel is 11 kilometers. So MRT will divide into few packages, 1 from station to station. So my site at that time 1 kilometer, 1 to 1.3 kilometer length. The depth of the shaft is 30 meter.
I
If you
thought
go
I
to
had wrong lah.
Cochrane station near my town and IKEA Ceras, the station there is 30 meter depth. And
Maybe
Bukit
I
Bintang
heard you
station
wrong. Sebab dengar tadi macam kata 1 kilometer depth, I kata dalam je.
kan, depth 30 kilometer.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Alright. Other awards ni is actually international awards that I believe that the previous class mentioned international awards. Tapi because we receive international award from British Safety Council few times, I think 3 times, tapi tak boleh nak show here. So this one is the 5-star SADB award for design and construction.
How about the line 2, Farah?
Line 2, yes.
Any experience?
So far, no major incident because they strengthened the safety and health rules, and I think for my side, no major incident reported.
Do you know any packages, the whole packages? Overall, is there any?
The PDP, the elevated section might have some issues with lifting of the segmental girder.
Yeah.
Then, I remember during MRT1, the tunneling precast segment is a precast segment that come by pieces. So our precaster is from Negeri Sembilan, from 3 factories. So there was one incident on Saturday, I think. The precast segment collapsed on the road, on the highway. So dia tak kena mana-mana public car lah. Tapi after that incident, the person in charge strengthen the transportation of these precast segments by normal kita guna lifting belt to ikat the segmental pieces dengan trailer, and then at that time they also panggil polis to follow the trailer. Because the segment is they come with 8 pieces, so one trailer might have 2 sets of segments. So in line 2, they are very stringent on the transportation. They ikat semua trailer and double check before going out from the factory, and when we receive at site also, before the trailer left, we must inspect with QQC and so on.
Okay, that's good. Meaning they learn from the incident previously. Luckily, there is no injury from the public.
Because during delivery of the machine, like the TBM machine from the Port Klang, we don't need the police to escort. I think it is the requirement from MRT, from the client, transport police escort from the port to our site, because the transportation usually conducted during nighttime, midnight. So very much banyak sangat paperwork dia. Kita memang tak boleh kacau transportation or traffic during daytime. So we need to get a permit lah, so on. So police permit, police escort semua. Only like one delivery at one night only. So the machine is like we need like 1 week or 2 weeks delivery time to site. So jadi seronok lah kalau tengok malam-malam.
Okay.
Police escort sampai site.
Yeah, true. Okay, good.
Yeah. Then I think that's all.
All right.
My side. So I will pass to my teammates Naufal.
All right, thank you, Farah. Okay. So everybody can hear me, right?
The camera.
I'm turning on my camera. All right, okay. So everyone can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so basically, from what Farah just said regarding on the law section and everything, so I'm here to elaborate more on the employer and employee responsibility based on OSHA 1994 lah. So basically, employer in construction industry have a legal and moral responsibility to provide a safe working environment. And also based on OSHA 1994, it outlines the employer responsibility lah. So which is the first one is to provide a safe working environment for the workers. And this means that the employer must ensure that construction site is free from hazard lah. And that's why we do the hierarchy lah. So we identify all the potential hazard and also the implement measure to eliminate and minimize the risk. And the second one is to provide a safe equipment. So this include providing workers with equipment that is, sorry, slide, Farah. Okay. So provide us previous slide. Okay, all right. Provide safe equipment. So, for example, grinder for workers to use must have a complete with safety feature such as the disc guarding. And then the next is to conduct a regular risk assessment. So this one to identify potential hazard and appropriate measure to be taken to eliminate and minimize the risk to workers lah. And then also employer must ensure that the workers receive appropriate training to perform their task safely and are supervised by competent individual lah. For example, just now I say grinder need to have a guarding for the disc, and the workers need to know that the purpose of guarding so that they will not remove it and use it without the proper safety feature. And then next is to give a PPE to the workers that is necessary, that ensure that the workers know how to use and which one is correct for them to wear. So the last one is to comply with all OSHA regulation and guideline related to the site safety. And then next. Next slide. And for employee responsibility, employees also have a responsibility to ensure that the site is within the safety regulation. So workers must comply with all the site safety regulation and guideline to protect themselves and also their teammate lah, the colleagues. Okay, so the first one is to use the PPE correctly. Employee must take responsibility for their own safety and the safety of their colleagues. This means that they must use PPE correctly and consistently to protect themselves from potential hazard lah. So meaning to say, as per if I'm not mistaken, we need to replace our safety shoe every year. So that one, some workers neglect that. So some of the safety shoe got don't have a proper installation, so also can get electrocuted, for example. And then next is to follow the site safety procedure. For example, when working with flammable item, the personnel workers should not ignite or smoking nearby the construction area. Okay. And then as the workers also must report any hazard or unsafe condition that they encounter to the supervisor immediately lah. So in case of any changes they notice, they need to show that they are concerned and also inform the supervisor. And then so as a worker also need to participate in training so that they have knowledge, they understand what are they doing. and also to take care of equipment, for example, equipment that have been given by the employers, so that the equipment can be functioning efficiently during working, and also to comply with the OSHA regulation lah.
Okay, they said that use PPE correctly. Is it um uh if the workers using the safety helmet while riding the motorcycle outside, do you think is it a fault?
I'm not sure, but from where I coming from, we are not we cannot use we cannot ride motorcycle to works. So basically,
So they will be penalized these workers if they are using safety helmet while riding the motorcycle.
yes, because not the proper one lah.
Okay, so this one is considered because you have in the act and use PPE correctly. So
Mm-hmm.
the safety helmet is not for bike, the motorbike. You must use the safety helmet. Sorry, the
Mm-hmm.
helmet,
The
the helmet.
rider.
Okay. It's not the safety helmet, that one, okay? All right.
All right. So based on this employers and employee responsibility, the conclusion is the employers and employees team both have their role to play in order to ensure that site is within the meet the safety regulation, and also both need to comply with the OSHA regulation and guideline. And this only can be done when both parties are working together. Okay, next. So next is assessment on the PPE based on OSHA. So the first one is to identify the potential hazard. Employer must first identify the potential hazard in the workplace that require the use of PPE. And then select the appropriate PPE once hazard has been identified, and employers must select the appropriate PPE that will provide the necessary protection. Evaluate the PPE. Employers must evaluate the PPE to ensure that it is effective and will provide the required protection. And also finally, train workers. So employer must train workers on the proper use, care and maintenance of the PPE. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. Based on the identifying potential hazard, employer must conduct a hazard assessment to identify potential hazard in workplace, and that could harm the workers, and this may include exposure to chemical, biological, physical, and also other workplace hazard lah, ergonomy and so on. And then also potential hazard should be identified in each work area or task, and the level of the risk associated with each hazard should be determined lah. So risk one, which one is the high risk, low, medium risk, and low risk lah. And then select the appropriate PPE. PPE that provide, select the PPE that will provide necessary protection. Consider the type of hazard, level of risk, evaluate the PPE for the effectiveness. So, for example, when working at night, maybe we need to provide extra laxity, which is we need to equip the safety helmet with the torchlight. Okay, and then evaluate the PPE. So, meaning to say, employee must evaluate the PPE to ensure that it is effective and will provide the required protection lah. So this may include the testing the PPE under actual working condition to ensure that it is performed as expected. Also, PPE should be evaluated periodically to ensure that it is still effective and provide the required level of protection. So, for example, harness lah. So, for working at height, we need to have harness. So, harness need to be inspect before use and after use, so that we can keep its safety integrity. And next is to train the worker. So it's no use if we have all the PPE, but then the workers don't know how to wear it properly lah. So employers must provide workers with training on the proper use, care and maintenance of PPE. So workers also need to be trained on the limitation of the PPE when it is appropriate. when it is appropriate to use, and they should understand the level of protection provided by the PPE. So basically, all safety, we say that PPE is the last on the pyramid. So basically, PPE is the last resort lah. Okay. So as for conclusion, assessment of PPE is very critical component to ensure the working environment is safe, and also employers must identify the potential hazard, select appropriate PPE, and evaluate lah. So I have attached a video. This was recently did a drill based on working ahead lah. Ada sound? Do we have sound?
Tak ada.
So this was a drill working at height. So one of the workers fell down during construction. So the EF spotter, Chanmia, and also pavement holder is basically the supervisor lah. So notify. Okay, siren was activated during the time. So emergency call. So the drill just not function to make the workers alert, but also to test our equipment lah, which is harness. So based on our height of working, the harness still make the personnel hanging lah, not fall to the ground lah. Because if we, for example, if we put the absorber, which is more than the given height, so the personnel will automatically fall to the ground lah.
So this one is a foreign worker?
Yes, foreign workers, Bangladeshi. So basically that's it lah.
Okay.
Okay, that's all from my presentation. So I will pass the presentation to my teammate.
Okay. Thank you.
So, Assalamualaikum and very good evening.
Waalaikumsalam.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Sir?
very clear.
And our colleagues?
Yes, silent.
So I will start the presentation for the case study. But before we proceed further with the case study, we need to start with question. Right? What is the status or current scenario of the compliance to Act 514 by the construction companies. And if there is no compliance or violation of Act, what is the types or part or section that the construction communities fail to comply? Always fail or constantly fail? So next slide, please. Back slide. Second slide. Yeah. So in this presentation, most of the data is obtained from DOSH annual report from year 2018 until 2021. And also from the Laporan Operasi Tapak Pembinaan, OTP, for the year 2017 and 2020. And also, I have referred to the ISO 45001 2018 manual sistem pengurusan for lembaga tabung haji and cash. This DOSH annual report contain all activities for the year, includes their operational achievement, their activities and their operational achievement. So I will only presenting selected database gathered from this report, which relate to the presentation, to my presentation. And next slide. What is the current scenario of the compliance? By referring to DOSH summary report for the year 2018 until 2021, the record shows that there were 818 cases in 2018 and increased to 424 cases in 2019, then decreased back to 232 in 2020 and 177 in 2021. Next. There were not yet. There were 113 numbers of cases, numbers of violation cases for construction in 2018, increased to 129 in 2019, then back decreased to 73 in 2020 and 52 in 2021. Next. So not yet. As of today in 2022, there were 292 cases, 292 prosecution, which 266 for AKP 1994 and 226 for AKJ 1967 as of today. Yeah. Next. OTP or Operasi Tapak Pembinaan is an annually activities by DOSH, and the operation is executed towards contractor who had fatal records and low compliance grade. OTP year 2017 has been selected for this presentation since the latest OTP year 2020 done by DOSH only covered 2 job scopes, i.e. Work at height and scaffolding, which caused major fatal accident, deaths at the construction site. The operation being led by DOSH HQ 3 times a year with the involvement of Pegawai Seksyen Kerja Bina at state level. Next. Based on the OTP inspection, there were 163 construction sites had violated the act, which Selangor is the highest rank with 30 cases, followed by Pulau Pinang 20, and Wilayah 19, and so on. Next. The bar chart shows, from the report, the bar chart shows an element which failed to comply by the contractor. The highest of 288 non-compliant is from the work at height, and followed by scaffolding, perancah, 243, and the third is 185 by PPE, failed to use PPE. Next. So from the report, I have tried to categorize the non-compliance into relevant part and section of the act, which we can see here. Working at height, scaffolding fall under part 4, section 5 2A, 15 subsection 2C, and 15 subsection 2E. Whereas the others also fall under part 4, section 15. Okay, only 2 is out of part 4, section 15, i.e. the personal protective equipment, PPE, which under part 6, section 34, subsection 1C. And also the competent person, orang yang kelayakan, I think, OYK.
Yes.
Under part 7, section 29. Next. So as a conclusion here from the bar chart, the percentage of non-compliance are 9/11, or 81.8% of the non-compliance are related to part 4, which section 15.1, section 15.2, A, B, C, D, and E. And the others, 9.1% of non-compliant is related to part 6, section 24, and part 7, section 29. And if we can analyze all the non-compliance is all related to operational issues, operational site issues, right? Next. So this is the section, the part and section which failed to fulfill by the contractors. 81.8% part 4, 9.1% part 6, and 9.1% part 7. Next.
Wow, 100%, eh? Are you are you claiming for the Tabung Haji one? Okay. It's 100% compliance. Good.
So for my reference here, I will refer to my company, Tish Lembaga Tabung Haji, how they achieve the 100% compliance. What is the best way to mitigate the non-compliance or violation to the Act as per Dodge statistic stated above, right? And for educational purposes, Doctor, as to understand further the operational issues that related to the non-compliance to the Act as described, I have managed to get approval to interview two competent safety officers, one from the Lembaga Tabung Haji, and the other one is from Tish Properties, as to get their opinion and to conclude our study. Both safety officers suggested the following strategies. Next slide.
Okay, you can present your dissertation, final dissertation, this report.
So TH reps, TH client reps is Tuan Haji Muhammad Fairuz bin Haji Arifin, and the other one is from TH Properties. The employee reps is Tuan Haji Muhammad Ali bin Sudir, yeah, bin Haji Sudir. So they are suggesting the following. Right? Strategy number one. To employ a dedicated, competent, and qualified safety officer, as already stated in Part 7, Section 39, 2 and 4, as to manage all safety issues. This is the first strategy as a proactive risk management. The safety officer, the safety manager or safety officer will ensure the due observance at workplace as to conduct and promote safety as per Section 19.3 stated in the Act. The OSHA Safety and Health Officer Legislation Order 1997, Item 3A, building operation, building construction project exceed 20 million RM, we require dedicated safety officer.
20 or 10?
20, Doctor. 20
Okay.
million RM.
Yeah.
Strategy number one, how to comply with the OSH 1994. Strategy number two, next, to establish a safety and health committee. Next. As mentioned before, if more than 40 workers, right? As stated in Part 7, Section 31A(b). Okay, this is the safety committee in Tabung Haji, safety and health committee. Right? So the function of the safety committee in Tabung Haji is to review all safety and health measures that have been taken. Number one. Number two, to investigate any issue concerning occupational safety and health and bring to attention of top management. And number two, yeah, the two function of safety committee, and they are also to create safety policy for Tabung Haji, which have long-term objective, continuous commitment at all level of management, and the delegation of tasks at lower management level, as you can see at the right-hand side of the slide presentation. The policy has been signed off by the CEO of Tabung Haji.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you know how's the composition of safety and health committee class? How much is the members that you have to assign as a committee? There is two sides. If you look at here, they have the employer representative, and they must have the employee representative to be part of the committee, safety and health committee. So do you know the composition? How many of them? Class, do you know? How about Sazailan, do you know how many?
Equal
So,
composition.
So there is a composition if the workers is less than 100, at least they must have equal, yes, equal, but there is the numbers, depends on numbers of employees in the organization. Okay, they must have two representatives if less than 100 workers, two representatives from the employer and two representatives from the employees. Okay, each representative. Okay, and then if they have more than 100 workers, they should have at least 4 representatives from each, from the employer and also for the employee. Okay, so here Tabung Haji, how many employees, total of employees?
we have
Tenant, do you know?
2,000, Doctor.
2,000. That's why you see more than 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they make it 6 at least, because they say if more than 100, you can have at least 4. So minimum is 4. So more is okay. All right. So now the Tabung Haji decided to have 6 representative from the employee and 6 representative from the employer. So equal. Okay. They must be equal. It's just like if less than 100, 2 at least. If more than 100 is 4 at least. So it can be more. Okay, depends on the how big is your organization. All right. Okay, class. Take note, eh? Thank you.
Okay, next. Next slide. So for the strategy number 3, the safety officer recommended the organization to uphold, encourage to have ISO 45001 as part of the strategies to comply with the act. Next. So this is the clauses in the ISO 45001. So all the clauses, especially clause 5 of the ISO, withhold the commitment of the top management. It's very important. Support from the top management. The ISO will also give better visibility and transparency that can ease management to make right decision. This is most important things. Next. And the last strategy is strategy number 4, which is knowledge and cooperation from all parties. As we can see in the slide photo, the company need to provide proper training as indicated in the Act Part 4, Section 15.2. Suit to staff as part of the strategies to comply Act 514, right? Such as proper way using PPE for working at height for abseiling method, which related to Part 6, Section 34.1. And the bottom photo is safe access to and ingress from areas such as confined space, which related to Part 4, Section 15 2D. And at the right The right photo is a basic occupational first aider, BOFA and CPR. Next slide. This is another photo for this knowledge sharing and cooperation by the management to the staff. And with that, I ended my presentation, Doctor.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Sir Zailan. Thank you very much. Thank you also for your effort doing did the mini research, mini survey, mini interview. Okay. By getting the information from we can say the expert in safety management. Okay. So it's a quite interesting input. Okay, the presentation on how did you understand about the case study in compliance of the act, which is I see is quite different from other student who presented. Okay, so it's interesting. Thank you very much for it. Okay, so it's already 10 p.m. So I will discuss further about OSHA. I will share any part of the section and also about the compliance, again about the act related to the case in the construction industry for the next week. Okay, and also for the FMA, and also what is the future regulation, safety regulation that will be, okay, after what the DOSH already submitted a new amendment, okay, for the safety regulation in 2023. Okay, means this year. All right, so I will share next week. Thank you very much for this group, and then next week we will try to have 2 quizzes from the previous group and also for your group, okay, to get refreshed from the previous topic. All right, so any question last so far? Any questions before we ended the class? I think any one of you asked a question yet? If not yet, you have to ask. These the rules. Anyone? Hello? Any questions? Asuha, you don't have question. You just ask Nick for the questions. Okay.
Okay, Aswa dulu, okay.
Okay, good. Hari.
Nikman dulu.
In my opinion, just want to ask a few questions to Encik
A few questions.
Tuan Zailhan. Sorry, Tuan Zai. It's much better. Actually, you are come from Tabung Haji, correct, isn't it?
Yes, Mr. Dick.
Is it? May I know which? Is it Tabung Haji Properties or which part? Don't mind.
Lembaga Tabung Haji, Real Estate Department.
Oh, real estate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do you handle any properties in Sarawak? Sorry, Encik Zai.
I got 2 properties in Sarawak. Basically, we developed number 1, Maiden Petrajaya.
Oh, that one, the Maiden, the big Maiden.
Yeah, Maiden
Okay.
Petrajaya is belong to Tabung Haji.
I see.
And the other one, Hotel TH Kuching.
Where is it?
Last time it's belong to Tabung Haji in front of airport, Doctor.
Oh, okay. In front. Yeah, I saw it. Okay.
But during the change of government, the building being sold to Urus Harta Jemaah. Harta Jemaah, you know the issues because of the liability and the asset not balanced.
Oh, okay.
The government asked Tabung Haji to release.
Oh,
Right?
okay. Yeah.
And from that day, the hotel belongs to Urus Harta Jemaah. To asset, Mr. Nick.
Okay.
May I know your opinion out of the box? May I know your opinion about the properties in Jalan Haji Taha, owned by Tabung Haji. Do you know about any that shop lot properties? Sorry, Prof.
Jalan Taha, yeah, we wanted to sell the property.
Why? The same case?
You know, what's the name?
It's bought over by me, Doctor.
That's called,
Jalan.
because
Mhm.
we need to maintain the profit, okay, out of our asset.
Hmm.
Most of our building,
Mhm.
especially shop lot, already more than 45 years old.
Ooh. Okay.
So we are currently evaluating the asset
Mm-hmm.
either to sell or to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
Very difficult in Tabung Haji, Mr. Nikman, because when we sell the asset, people say that Tabung Haji jual bangunan. They don't understand us because they don't understand that we are managing properties, right? If
Yeah.
we cannot maintain, that means we can sell. We need to sell.
Yeah.
It's very sensitive issue. When we sell, then Tabung Haji jual harta orang Melayu. That's a problem.
Okay.
Encik Zailan,
Yeah,
actually one of your classmates buying that property, that shop lot.
my classmate.
Yeah, me, our company buy that property.
You bought it?
Okay.
Yes. If you go to your legal right now in a process of negotiation, waiting for final sanitary.
I see.
Wow.
Mean how much? How much? You mean how many? Which lot? I mean, which properties in Kuching or what? That one, the in front of the airport.
My office right now, the shop lot actually. They actually Tabung Haji sold very cheap.
Oh, okay. How much is it? Can you buy for me?
Jangan.
How much is it cheap?
Tabung Haji sold around 850,000.
Oh, okay. That's good.
4-story shop lot. So we do negotiation in 2019. That's why I got shocked. So yeah, now got shocked lah. Now in process of negotiation and also take over lah. Say Encik Zailan, I think you
Parah kaya dia, yes.
I will get
Yeah.
involved. I will get
you
involved.
you'll see my name lah, Encik Zailan, later.
Okay, so Nick, that one will be your new office over there.
This is the office.
So where is it, the location?
Haji
Well, kita right?
This
is the Oh. office. At Taha, that one is it in Kuching?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So this one, how big is it, the shop lot?
4-story.
Oh, 4-story. The size? I mean, 4-story.
880 square feet for ground level.
Okay.
1,000.
Okay. I already been okay. I will have a visit in Sarawak, so you have to fetch me, Nick. Okay, at the airport and bring me to your office and bring me to Laksa Sarawak, the best one in Kuching.
And together with Encik Zailan too.
Ini, I just came back from Sarawak.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
My wife from Sarawak. Actually, my wife in Gita, Kampung Gita. You know?
Oh, okay. Okay. My
Really,
husband from Sarawak too.
Sarawakian. Sarawakian. Yeah.
No, he's not Sarawakian. He's PR Sarawak.
Sarawak. Yeah.
The PR, the permanent resident Sarawak. Yeah. So he got K also, similar like Sarawakian, that we don't have it.
Yeah.
You know? Even those who born in Sarawak also difficult to get K. It's difficult. I don't know why. So how about you, Zailan? You got the special Sarawakian. I don't know your kids or what? Because your wife is Sarawakian.
I don't have that
The privilege.
privilege.
How about the kids?
The kid, yes. The kid, yes.
Also, they born there
They born there. Yeah.
and then they got K as well.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's good. All right. I plan to. I don't know can get it or not. To get K. All right. So any more questions? Asuha, you have a question? I think you will ask many questions or no? Asuha, speak.
So what can PM me, Doctor?
It's okay. You can ask it. Everyone will ask it.
I think no lah, because Numan already asked about 4 questions just now. I think it's enough
Okay.
for
Okay, all right. So, okay. So thank you very much, everyone. And good to know that somebody have a property from your classmate. Okay. All right. So see you guys again next week at the same time. I think there is no public holiday, right? So public holiday on Thursday only. And see you guys at the same time, 6:30 next week. Don't forget. Okay. All right. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum. Good night.
Okay, salam. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Okay, Doctor.
Thank you. Very
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Doctor.